Kiersten, obviously this is an important job that Chris Krebs was doing. Are you worried at all for American security at this very moment, not having a director of cyber and infrastructure security?
Well, thanks, Emily. Thanks for being with you as always. The short answer is no, I'm not worried, and that's because of the work that Chris Krebs has done over the last 2 years. So this agency, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, just came into being in 2018. And Chris and his team spent 2 years ensuring the security of this election, as well as future elections, going to state and local governments, securing infrastructure across the nation. And because of that work, the team in place now is very much prepared to address handling government. We have continuity of operations in government. That's what good government does. And that's a testament to the leadership of CISA, to Chris Krebs, to his deputy, Matt Travis, and to the team. And so while it is unfortunate, it is an irresponsible act on the part of this president to have fired him, I'm not concerned about the security of the nation.
The president, of course, doing this via tweet, again, claiming election fraud, and that what Chris Krebs has said in the past about election security is, quote, highly inaccurate. Krebs actually responding on Twitter as well, saying, I never claimed there wasn't fraud in the election because that's not CISA's job. It's a law enforcement matter. We did provide information on measures election officials use to prevent and detect dead voters, though. Don't buy it and think twice before sharing. What do you think this says at all about the integrity of the election?
I think based on what we've heard across multiple jurisdictions, we have 10,000 voting jurisdictions in this country. State and local officials from both parties have all come forward to validate the integrity of the election. And there's no reason to doubt all of those voices who were on the ground securing the integrity. And that was one of the key focus points. And it was an impressive election from the perspective of national security when you think of all of the threats that we know were and are coming at us. But there's no reason to believe anything other than all of the people that are on the ground, the government officials, state and local governments, jurisdictions who have all validated the integrity of this election.
Krebs had wide bipartisan support. As we head into the next administration, how do you think the Biden team should be looking at this, and what should they be doing to plan for their own transition?
It's a great question because cybersecurity is evolving so much. So I was working in the Senate in 2001 and worked on the legislation to create the Department of Homeland Security. So I've seen this growth and this evolution through this agency, through its awkward stages. And where we are now is we've gone through serious progress. The last 4 years, led by Chris and the work of CISA from an infrastructure perspective, we've made a lot of progress. And now we have to continue to look forward. And the priorities are the same. We have to look at how we build a safe and secure digital infrastructure. We have to examine how we can deter and prevent nation-state activity and threats against our infrastructure. And we have to work with businesses of all sizes to stay secure and combat cybercrime. So this administration that's coming, this Biden administration and the transition team needs to be looking forward, needs to grow upon the successes of the past, and has to absolutely have a diverse workforce. And it's diversity of opinion, perspective, race, gender, culture. Cybersecurity is about building solutions and problem solving. And the best way we can do that to create innovative approaches for moving forward is to ensure we've got diversity of voices and represent the new and emerging voices that we're seeing in this space.
Krebs has been quite humorous about this situation on Twitter, saying he's now going to reintroduce himself to his family, watch sports, and ride bikes. I mean, do you think that Biden should consider rehiring him for his administration?
I think President-elect Biden has a lot of people around him who have worked in government in the past, who are from industry. And again, we want to make sure that as we look forward, we're going to bring in a workforce that's going to take the successes that have been built, take the successes that Chris has achieved, and build upon them. I certainly expect President-elect Biden to look at Chris, particularly during the transition, because that's how good government works. We work off of the successes of the past to build forward.
At this moment, what do you think the biggest cyber threats are that Biden's team needs to be worried about? Obviously, the relationship with China is, incredibly frosty, and tensions have escalated. Similar situation with some other countries out there, and certainly, the Trump administration hasn't done the best job at maintaining our relationships with traditional U.S. allies. What do you think should be priority number one on the cyber front for Biden's team?
Well, it's a two-pronged priority. Number one, I think we absolutely have to look at how we're working internationally. We have to get rid of the America first, America only approach and really reach out and repair the international relationships that have been hurt over the last 4 years. And when we look at cybersecurity, we can't do this on our own. We have to do it in collaboration with like-minded economic nations. We have to build a coalition of the willing to build a safe and secure digital infrastructure. So there's the international piece. And on the domestic side, right now, the current threat that's much more serious than I think we continue to acknowledge is ransomware, because ransomware is affecting businesses of all sizes. And when we look at the interdependencies of global supply chains, small businesses are the most vulnerable. And so we have to continue the work underway to really help small businesses be more secure so that these global value chains can do better work. And with the Cyber Readiness Institute, we've worked closely with Chris and his team on helping small businesses. And I hope that work continues, certainly in the coming years.